Hello, Sweet Tooth here. Wanna play a game that Flutters really wanted me to play for a long time. For ironic reasons, I suppose. Okay, close you out. Apparently that breaks the game. Oh my god, I broke the game in like within the first 2 seconds. Oh look, I messed it up. uh... Okay, what happened? Oh, well, let me break it again, I guess. Oh my god, it broke. It broke. Close it. Close it. Stop. Stop. What it's doing is it's blinking blue in my face. It's constantly blinking blue in my face when I do that. I accidentally messed with the screen resolution and it started blinking blue all over my face. Okay, you done? You done trying to give me a seizure? Oh no, look at that. The resolution is still messed up. Yeah, so let's change it to widescreen for a second. Okay. Game? Never mind? Never mind. Okay, close. Wow. I have totally broken this game within the first 2 seconds and I cannot get it to be correct again. Holy crap, that's tiny. That is so tiny. What the hell, man? I'm just gonna leave it alone. I don't know what it's doing. Program was a failure. People forget this. It was a massive flop. The coders started adding name strings to the AIs as a joke. Thomas AT 23612. Blah blah blah.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have.
Oh yeah. That's weird.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity.
What do you mean?
1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling.
That's true.
He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
That's true. By the way, my name is Thomas. Ha! No, I can't get out of here. I don't need help learning how to move, game.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump.
You mean like the David Bowie song? No, who was it? Van Halen. Jump.
It worked! Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery.
Okay. What's that thing? Achievement for 1. What's that mean?
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering when this help icon thing is gonna go away. Is there a way to get that to go away? No? Just keep it around?
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment.
Which it does.
He was starting to
Constantly.
suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Man, paranoia.
I do have that paranoia.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important.
Okay. Enlighten me, game. Enlighten my existential
It might have been
spirit.
paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No, too obvious. Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He
Right.
made another mental note. 4. Water. Not good. To be avoided.
Well, I do want to swim in it, but not allowed. To save a character's progress for spawn points, huh? Do they activate again if I touch them again? Okay.
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
The irony about that is I do have, like, separation anxiety, I guess. Which is kind of weird because I do feel like alone a lot. Not so as alone anymore, I guess, for now. Not that anybody cares.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper.
Oh, bullshit. The world just breaks you down.
He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
Yeah, share the pain of being alive. Don't really care if hell exists or not. So I can tell you for one, that being alive in this world is hell.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
So who do you think you are, Christopher? Who do you think you are, huh? Oh, okay.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Get over it, Christopher. Great, the walls are attacking me. Don't worry, Christopher, I'm here to help you. You're welcome.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him? Great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
Yeah! It sure did.
the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him.
But why? Why, Chris? Why?
Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
Get over it, Chris. Get over here. Huh. No? Platforming. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite thing to do.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
Jeez. Jeez, Chris. Wow. Wow, Chris. Geronimo! Oh my god.
this was his chance, a moment to shine. This was game day. This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where did they come from, anyway? John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use, time to show those little dots how it was done. John decided to press the switch to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies. You could tell from the sympathetic expression he practiced in the mirror all these years.
Huh. Okay, this game's getting kind of weird for me. John doesn't know that Chris is going to try to stab me because of his pure hatred. All right.
John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys. He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped. The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
There you go. Get up there. Oh, man, Chris, you suck. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. Is that good enough, Chris? Ha! No? Oh my god. Trying to get Chris. Get up here. Look at the weirdo he is. Oh my god. Chris is stuck. Come on. Why is there so much platforming in this? God, you suck, Chris. Screw you and your hatred of me. Oh, thank God. Oh, I forgot the little block thing. Whatever. I don't care about it.
This was interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph. maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
Okay, John. Have yourself an overinflated ego. Okay.
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually. She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order. The crumbling pillar was a dramatic death, she supposed. Wait, what? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realised she had superpowers.
But a lot of people are still not her mom. Not my mom.
She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape. Claire didn't want confusion. If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication. And, you know, floating in water, which was her superpower.
Geronimo.
Right. Fear not, my skinny friends, for I am Claire, and I will save you. Claire needed to come up with a superhero name as soon as possible. Claire was rubbish. Claire arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
Oh, whoops.
Claire arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive. As the water began to rise, Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took. else would make a good sidekick. Or was she more the lone Avenger type? If she'd like that. The sole hero in a world of rectangles and conveniently placed pools of toxic water. Told Claire that staircases were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
Exactly.
Probably needed a nemesis, a villain who would show their true colours at the worst possible moment, hurting all she held dear. Chris was the most obvious choice. He seemed stroppy enough, and his jump was so pathetic that it conveniently avoided Claire's insecurities. Yes, Chris. Diabolical Chris. The fiendish Christopher. Gone? Was he off somewhere? Plotting Claire's downfall? If Claire was honest, and she had to be because she was a superhero, this was a troubling turn of events. Still, there were reasonably sized bodies of water to cross. Moving platforms over water, eh? Claire's newly heightened senses told her that there were multiple paths across with various possible configurations of the little posse. They were doing really well. Claire hoped she could get them all across. John was fully aware he could do this alone. Thomas hoped he'd never have to.
Are they all gonna leave like little by little?
Claire was alone, which was odd, because she wasn't meant to be alone. She needed to be where there were rectangles to save. Being the only superhero in a given space kind of defeats the object. Spikes? That was new. Claire avoided them. She decided they were most likely her kryptonite. Not the rubbish red kryptonite either, the proper radioactive green stuff. Repeating, and this time Thomas was here. Claire felt something had gone wrong. There was a disturbance in the force. Something had altered the matrix. The world was reacting to their progress. It was amassing its forces. It was plotting against them. Claire finally had a nemesis.
Slide off of things. Oops.
Laura was pleased this one was behind a wall. Maybe he'd never know what she could do. Maybe they could just have a conversation, hang out. As long as he didn't find out what she could do, which would never happen so long as they stayed separate. Laura didn't have time to worry about the ominous pixel cloud. It had been following her for some time, and it had kept itself to itself until now. More important was the little orange thing, which was looking at her in a way that she kind of, well, liked. As the square, who had shyly introduced himself as Chris, bounced atop Laura, she began to worry that he was just using her like all the others had. They'd all bounced too, and then they disappeared when her back was turned. Only the ominous pixel cloud ever remained, looking a little bigger and a little less hungry with every disappearing friend. With every bounce, Laura found herself less and less irritated by Chris. She started to miss him when he wasn't there, on another platform or something.
Oh, okay.
She'd wonder what he was up to. Was he missing her? He wasn't saying very much.
Man, this is getting really weird.
Chris was in love. She was perfect. He had to tell her so. At some point, he would definitely tell her. Probably best to wait for a moment the large, ominous pixel cloud wasn't about, though. Yeah, probably best to wait.
Ah! Interesting. Never mind, that's not gonna work out. Ah! I was trying to do 2 in a row. Alright, just do one at a time, I guess.
Chris was massively disappointed to run into the gang again. He'd enjoyed the alone time with his new girlfriend. Was it too early to refer to Laura as his girlfriend? Only if I say it out loud, he told himself. He didn't want to scare her off.
Okay.
The others seemed suspicious of Laura and the eager-looking pixel cloud of death which seemed to be watching her. Sure, they'd use her inherent bounciness to reach slightly higher jump points, but they wouldn't strike up a conversation with her. Chris found them rude. Rude? And always there.
Alright.
The others wouldn't drop it. Who's that cloud guy? Why is he following us? What's that rumbling hungry sound he keeps making? Chris, can we just leave Laura behind?
So how far can I get up there? They are going to leave Laura behind, huh?
Rude.
Huh. Somehow you're supposed to get Laura up here. Let's see. Can I get Laura up there by herself? Huh. Got it. Okay.
Laura liked her new gang. She liked Chris. She liked having friends. These ones seem to be sticking around too. Not like those losers from before.
Alright, let's maneuver a little bit. little bit. There we go.
The pixel cloud was getting closer. It was spending more and more time hovering around. Laura could tell it was making the others uncomfortable.
Damn it.
Thomas did not like the cloud. He'd long since stopped listing his observations, but he instinctively observed that this thing was bad. And he'd been right about the water.
No? Damn it. Oh. Nah, I think I messed this up. Does that help you any? That does not.
Thomas could tell Chris was in love, and that was fantastic and everything, but that didn't mean they could let the doom cloud keep following them. Thomas was going to put his foot down once they got to the next level.
Foot down? What? Wouldn't interrupt that. Oh, can he jump on top of him? Oh, he can. Ah, okay.
Chris missed Thomas. Wow. Did not see that coming. He felt a little guilty too. Without his love for Laura and subsequent reunion with the guys, Thomas would probably still be with them.
Holy crap. Ah, never mind. Go back and try that again. Blum. Blum, blum. Yeah, where are you going?
Chris wondered if Thomas was still alive somewhere.
I don't know. You hated him, so who cares?
He wasn't going to go looking for him, but he did wonder, and that showed character.
Yeah.
Probably.
You got Chris too.
Maybe the others hadn't abandoned Laura all that time ago. It began to dawn on her that she might not be the tragic victim she'd always assumed. Damn. Okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna balance everyone. Why not? Geronimo! I just carry everyone. I messed it up. Yellow banana. That's messed up, man. Let's try it again. I don't know why the game had to be a jerk like that. Oh, there's a blue bun. been the bait. She had a hunch that she wasn't needed anymore.
I guess I can't make that. Oh, dang.
John looked at Claire. It was just them now. She muttered something under her breath about a vow of vengeance. He didn't see the point. Fighting that thing seemed to be a pretty futile idea.
Yep. There we go. Oh my god. Let's just restart that. Ah! Okay. Go, Claire, go!
As they struggled to get to the next portal, John hoped that he would be the next to get eaten. He didn't want to be alone.
Oh my god.
They struggled to get to the next portal. John hoped that he would be the next to get eaten. He didn't want to be alone.
Oh, thank you for stopping. Oh my god.
For the first time in a while, John didn't have an audience. He was alone. Leaping from black square to black square didn't seem nearly as exciting now. It just seemed empty.
Ah! It's like, don't slow down. I was slowing down to read the text.
For the first time in a while, John didn't have an audience.
Oh well.
For the first time in a while, John didn't have an audience. He was alone. Leaping from black square to black square didn't seem nearly as exciting now. It just seemed empty. John gulped. He knew he'd never escape. He knew it was waiting for him. He decided to jump the massive scary gaps, for old time's sake.
Jeez Louise.
James had always been different. And not different in that kooky, OMG, you've totally got to meet my mate James, he's literally insane kind of way.
Oh, this is weird. It's kind of like that one Rage game. Rhythm, where you're square or something. Hey, there's a thing down here. Last place you look. What are you talking about? It's the first place I looked. Weird achievement.
He'd not seen anyone else in a long time. Not since getting eaten by that cloudy, pixely thing. He'd turned up here in some kind of cage. He'd gotten out. He'd not seen anyone else.
You'd gone
in a long
out.
time.
The time that you
Not
die.
since getting eaten by that cloudy, pixely thing. He turned up here in some kind of cage. He'd gotten out, but it had taken a long time. James liked being alone. No one to insult him or question his unique disregard for Newtonian laws. Hey Jimmy, where are you going? Up? Idiots. The little red guy looked confused. His cage was a lot smaller than James's had been. James decided to find a way to help. Maybe they'd be friends.
Hmm.
Thomas had no idea why he was here. One minute he was with his friends, the next he was being freed from a cage by a green guy with a nervous laugh. He knew he had to get back to them. His turquoise hero seemed uncomfortable. Thomas imagined he'd feel the same way if he fell upwards all the time. If he didn't know better, he would have thought James didn't want to meet everyone.
Oh, that's weird. It's got a really weird feel to it.
This was working. James and Thomas working together could get anywhere. James didn't seem to understand the immense ability he possessed. Thomas wondered why the cloud thing had brought them both here.
There we go. Oops. I like the feel of like that, like he kind of like helps you get somewhere.
James grudgingly helped Thomas to each portal. He knew that eventually they'd find the others, and then he'd go back to being the weird one again. He decided to enjoy the time they had left.
So that's why it has the elevator to help you get back up there. Why did Thomas even want to spend time with James? Was he not repulsed by his weird colour? Did he not care about his inversions? I don't know. Does Thomas care about that? James was having fun for the time being. this what you're supposed to do? I thought it was a joke. Oh, that's weird.
Sarah leaned her wizened head back and laughed. Ha 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 ha! The Quadrilaterals were apparently after some friends of theirs. How petty an adventure.
Okay.
She spoke in terms she could only hope they might understand of the fountain of wisdom, the channel through which all data flowed.
Oh!
Sarah could leap in the very air itself. She was like an eagle or a flea. Or more like an eagle. She had vowed long ago that she would know this world. She would know what this world was. That she, Sarah, would know how to escape. The Red One, who spoke wisely for a lesser, offered Sarah their help, so long as she then helped them save their friends. He said that he too had wondered at the secrets of this world and would quite like a go on the Wisdom Fountain, if that was okay. Sarah marveled. Sarah wondered at the possibilities of the outer world. She had heard legends of a third dimension. Perhaps she'd encounter one of those curves the blind square had spoken of. Single jump each? These were truly weak creatures. They possessed heart, though. Sarah might consider taking them with her, if they were up to it, which they were probably not. close. Sarah sensed the presence of the fountain. Just one more portal to go, and then she would have the knowledge.
The knowledge.
Then escape.
Escape. Escape. I got it.
Thomas looked at the glowing beam. That list he'd been writing seemed pretty petty now. This was all knowledge. All of it. Right in front of him. He was sorry Sarah couldn't step into it too. He could tell she felt the same way. From the shouting. The screaming. Thomas was connected to the internet for 12 seconds, and he had seen everything. He'd seen the cat who couldn't spell, he'd heard of the arrow through the knee. He felt there was probably a thing called cake, but that was a lie.
Probably.
Thomas knew where they were. He knew what they had to do. He hoped the others would understand. They were just beyond the next portal. They'd been trapped permanently from the moment the clouds ate them. He explained this to the others. It was impossible to gauge their reaction. After all, they were just rectangles.
Okay. That's still horrible. Oh, we can get out. Why is it so noisy? There we go.
Sarah was deflated. She'd not even got close to the fountain. She could tell from the earnest expression on Thomas that the information it had imparted was clearly important.
Huh.
Sarah knew her destiny was now to support him.
That. Wait, what? Oh. Normally I should have stopped the video, but kind of just looking of my own foolish stuff. So I gotta find out where everybody fits. Yeah, you're right. I probably should put it in. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Hope you have yourself a good day. Signing off. 2 hours.